is the NBA on NBC. The 1999 NBA Playoffs. Today, it's the Phoenix Suns versus the Portland Trail Blazers.
The Rose Garden in Portland, where fans are up for the playoffs. Everyone excited as the Blazers are in the playoffs for the 17th straight year, juggling their schedules to be here for Game 1, the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trail Blazers. And inside the Rose Garden, right at 20,000, a capacity crowd at the Rose Garden to see Game 1, which also features a matchup of premier point guards, Jason Kidd of the Phoenix Suns and his counterpart for the Portland Trail Blazers, Damon Stoudemire. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Portland. Tom Hamill with Steve Snapper Jones, ready for this first game in the Western Conference playoffs. You know, the Portland Trail Blazers won the Pacific Division for much of the season. They had the best record in the NBA. They stumbled a bit at the close of the season, but still managed to sweep the regular season series with the Phoenix Suns. And one of the reasons Portland was so successful this season, depth and balance. It all began at the end of last season when Rasheed Wallace went to coach Mike Dunleavy and offered to sacrifice some minutes, come from off the bench, and he was a key player there, and he's a key player on the court for them today.
There's no question, Tom, that Rasheed Wallace set the tone for the season with his ability to sacrifice, but he is a player that gives him great versatility up front. He plays all three positions. He blocks shots. He runs the floor extremely well for a guy his size, and he's also able to deliver big buckets in the closing moment. So the Trailblazers need Rasheed Wallace to be aggressive at the offensive end to make sure that he's in the lineup. The numbers that he produced, and really the key one, is his ability to score the ball without missing a lot of shots, 50% this season.
And we expect Rasheed Wallace to be in the starting lineup for the Blazers today instead of coming off the bench as he has done much of the season. Now for the Phoenix Suns, one of the key free agent acquisitions in the offseason was Tom Gugliotta, and he winds up leading Phoenix in both scoring and rebounding.
Well, Tom Gugliotta is a guy that they really wanted to get and did because of his versatility. Gugliotta does a little bit of everything very well, and when he's playing well, the Phoenix Suns feel that they have a chance to play with anybody in the league. And over the last 4 games, he's beginning to hit his playoff stride. You know, Tom Gugliotta has only been in the playoffs once before, so he also wants to make some fame for himself. Look for Gugliotta to play big today.
All right, it all begins. Game 1 of this opening round series, the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trail Blazers from the Rose Garden in Portland.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller High Life. Don't be ashamed to slip your refrigerator a little thank you note. By the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? And by Nike.
And welcome back to Portland, Oregon in the Pacific Northwest. Game 1, the Suns and the Blazers. Starting lineup first for the Phoenix Suns, Cliff Robinson, the former Trailblazer, Luke Longley, who won 3 championships with the Bulls, and Tom Gugliotta. In the backcourt, the hot shooting sometimes Rex Chapman, who struggled this season, and Jason Kidd, who led the NBA in assists. And the coach of the Phoenix Suns, former NBA player Danny Ainge, a native of Eugene, Oregon. Portland Trailblazers 35-15 and 19-3 at home. Get Rasheed Wallace along with 7'3" Arvydas Sabonis and their leading rebounder Brian Grant. Damon Stoudemire, the point guard, along with Isaiah Ryder, their leading scorer, averaging 14 points a game. And Portland coached, like Ainge, a former NBA player, by Mike Dunleavy. Dunleavy, 21 years in the NBA as a coach and a player. The officials, Dick Bavetta, Ted Bernhardt, and Derek Stafford. Let's go to Paul Sunderland now on the sideline.
Well, Tom, you know, Portland did not finish out what was heretofore a very, very solid season the way they wanted. But particularly, neither did Isaiah Ryder. Probably his worst stretch of the season, the last 4 games. And look at the game against San Antonio. With home court advantage through the second round, up for grabs, Isaiah Ryder was late to a shoot-around in the morning, didn't start, played only 16 minutes, and he has really struggled. When we talked to Mike Dunleavy yesterday, he said, look, that's all done with. It's in Isaiah's hands now. How he responds is the key. Sometimes he comes out of these situations and plays some of his best basketball, or he sulks. It's up to him. Either way, Portland will be looking to him and how he handles this situation.
All right, Paul, as we get ready to tip off Game 1. Sabonis and Longley, a pair of 7-footers. In fact, Longley 7'2", Sabonis 7'3", and Longley controls the opening tap for the Phoenix Suns.
All right, Tom, we've already seen in the New York-Miami series that records don't mean anything. New York with the first game win, and that's what the Phoenix Suns are trying to do. Dunleavy's nervous about it, so let's watch Portland's defensive energy at the start of this ball game.
Longley over Sabonis from outside. Gugliotta with an offensive rebound, a rare commodity for the Suns when they play the Trailblazers. Jason Kidd penetrates, finds an open Gugliotta.
That's what second opportunities will do. That's what Portland's been able to do better than the Phoenix Suns, and they're trying to get a little role reversal. You see the leading scorers on the season and categories for the Portland Trailblazers, and Portland will be trying to get Isaiah Rider involved in the game right at the outset.
Here's Rider with a quick move to the hoop, and he got the roll. Isaiah Rider ties it at 2. Rex Chapman, who has struggled with his shooting, only 36% from the field this year. Actually, in the 3 meetings with Portland, played only 3 quarters. He was ejected from the 4th quarter in the game he did play. He missed the other 2 with a turf toe injury.
You heard that pop on that string. That means that's not good music for the Trailblazers, because if Chapman is stroking like that, that's going to be a very explosive afternoon for him. Rider again.
Longley with rebound of the Rider miss. Here comes Jason Kidd.
Campbell with a steal.
Stoudemire sees Phoenix back on defense, almost lost the ball. Grant now sets the screen. Damon Stoudemire to Grant. He'll shoot 2.
When Rider is bringing the ball to the rim, that's when he's most valuable to the Trailblazers. One, because he scores it. He puts the opposition in foul problems. He also gets a chance to get to the line, and he will pass the ball to other people. So Rider, when he's aggressive like that, Portland can expect a solid afternoon for him. Grant gets his first free throw.
Grant rolls it in. Those dreadlocks, he said he tried to grow them out earlier in his career, but he never had time to let them grow properly. Got to Portland, found a new home here, and was content to let them grow out. They've nicknamed him the Rasta Monster. He is a big follower and believer in Bob Marley. And he has become quite a favorite player, very active in the community here in Portland. Robinson to Gugliotta. He's being guarded by Grant. Kicks it back outside. Robinson made a nice catch. The ball handling looked rough that time, and Gugliotta's shot is an air ball.
Well, both of those players looked nervous in that exchange, and neither one really wanted to do anything offensively. And if you're going to play well, you got to be aggressive and looking for your scoring opportunities. Let's see how Wallace goes in his first attempt against Cliff Robinson.
Wallace goes up high, can't hit. Longley clears to Chapman. 3 rebounds already for Luke Longley.
Phoenix Suns have always been known as a high-energy, high-explosive team, and they're going to rely on Jason Kidd to create that for them, either passing or scoring.
Chapman misses from the corner. Wallace skies for the rebound. We saw Jason Kidd backing down the smaller Stoudemire for a moment. Then he passed it up. Here's Gugliotta with a steal. Longley. And Wallace with another rebound.
I think for both teams, they want to try to find a place to quick strike and score easily. Stoudemire got to the rim, and that one was below the rim. I don't know what kind of juice it had on it, because that wasn't supposed to go in. He's calling for a foul, but he gets his first 2.
Able to spin it in, despite what he said was a hack on the arm. Damon Stoudemire, who went to Portland Wilson High School, won a couple of state championships there. Went off to play college basketball in Arizona, to Toronto in the NBA, and back home. Kidd for 3. Jason Kidd has worked diligently on his outside shooting. That one wouldn't go, but Cliff Robinson with an offensive rebound.
Cliff has not looked to shoot the ball yet. Gets his first one to go in for Danny Ainge and the Sun. That's a terrific sign, because Cliff in past playoff series has struggled offensively, and they can talk about his defense. This is a guy that loves some offense, and if his offense is going good, his entire game picks up.
Well, that's been the problem, as you said. In playoffs, his average has been some 6 points less than regular season over the years.
Not a good decision by Sabonis. Tried to force it. Kidd trying to bust loose.
Luke Longley. Sabonis got a piece of it and gathers the rebound. Here's the outlet to Rider. 3 on 2 Blazers. Rider puts it up and in.
3 on 2 Blazers. 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 the strength of Ryder right there. He's a power player and used his power to wait for the defense to make a decision. Ryder calling for the crowd to get in it.
Gugliotta spinning on Grant. There's the help from Sabonis. And the steal by Wallace. Sabonis pass. Stoudemire's fouled by Robinson. Well, the soft hands of Arvydas Sabonis and his inside passing ability.
Well, aggressiveness is what will be the hallmark of this afternoon. Look at that ball handle forward.
Yeah,
how do you get that on a basketball? Ryder coming down, waiting for the defense, and then drives it right through Rex Chapman for his second bucket. Portland coming back with some good passing in a breaking situation. Stoudemire the foul to Robinson, the victim. He misses his first.
Stoudemire averaged 15 points in the 3 games against Phoenix this season, averaging 12 on the year regular season. The smallest ever NBA Rookie of the Year when he played with the Toronto Raptors. Raymond Stoudemire, 5'10", and he gives the Blazers a 2-point lead. Portland outrunning Phoenix, which is unusual. Phoenix likes to run. They've gotten 5-0 fast break points. Jason Kidd. Kidd's first bucket ties the game at 8. Stoudemire and Kidd matched up. They have been rivals since college.
They were trying to get the ball to Sabonis. Sabonis likes it on the move. He doesn't get it on the move with Longley draped all over him. Going to be tough.
Robinson got a piece of Ryder's shot, scramble for it. Gugliotta saves it inbounds. Here's Chapman. Back to Gugliotta, streaking for the jam. 4 points for Gugliotta off the good pass from Chapman. And Phoenix back up by a deuce. And Portland will take a timeout.
The thing about the Phoenix Suns is they have a lot of different places where they can score, and this time, as Jason Kidd showing you, he does have a jump shot, and Tom Gugliotta with authority with 2 hands over the top.
The Kings, the Jazz, the playoffs continue next.
Rex Chapman of the Phoenix Suns is a gamer, and sometimes he makes decisions that aren't the best interest of his long-term health. He wants to play. He had some goggles he was wearing for a cracked eye socket. In practice yesterday, he trashed them, stepped on them. He won't wear them, even though his coach, Danny Ainge, wants him to, and Ainge says he's learned not to listen to Rex when it comes to, are you injured?
I learned a long time ago Rex is stubborn, and I don't listen to him anymore. Because he's going to make bad decisions for long-term health in order to play. He'll do anything he can to play. And so, as a coach and as I've learned Rex, his personality and his desire to play over the years, I've just had to make some tough decisions and say, you're not playing. You're on the injured list. You're going to get healthy. I'm not listening to you. I don't even ask you if you're healthy. I'm watching to see if you're healthy from now on.
And Rex is playing and is 1 of 2 to start the game and is a key figure if Phoenix has a chance to upset the Trailblazers.
Now, the Phoenix Suns feel, and they've played very well against the Trailblazers, but they have not been able to close them out down the stretch, and they feel if they can get ahead and be assertive early, they can steal a game in game 1 here at the Rose Garden. So they've got a lot of energy looking for Kidd against the clock.
Kidd with a quick turnaround, rebounded by Sabonis. Second board for the big man. Here's Stoudemire in a hurry. Right by Kidd. Missed the shot. Couldn't finish it. Gugliotta clears.
They've always said about a left-handed guy, he can't eat if he has to go to his right. And Stoudemire really overlaid that one, but that was a terrific effort to get to the rim.
So Stoudemire comes away hungry. And now Kidd trying to post him up. Again, the size advantage. Kidd is 6'4". Stoudemire only 5'10". Back outside, Gugliotta penetrates. The pull-up, no good. Sabonis again right there for his 3rd rebound.
Now, they've been able to limit them to 1 shot and a shot against the clock, and a tough one at that. Now Portland's got to be able to come back and find some way to score inside, looking for Wallace against Robinson.
Low post, turns on Cliff, faces up now, backing down. Baseline drive, Wallace the reverse and air ball. Here's Chapman for the rebound.
This is supposed to be the Western Conference, isn't it? High scoring, and they're missing. Jason Kidd, in and out, finally falls.
Jason Kidd records his 4th point, and the Phoenix lead is 4. Phoenix hitting 6 of their first 14. Only 9 shots for Portland so far. One of the keys, said Danny Ainge, was limiting Portland's easy baskets, second chance points off the offensive boards. Gugliotta fouls Grant.
Whenever they can get the floor spread, the Phoenix Suns are very dangerous. They like to bring it to the rim with Jason Kidd, because if he doesn't score, he's going to try to find someone who can score. This time, the left hand works for him.
Brian Grant. This is the first one. Log on to NBA.com for breaking news, video highlights, real-time scores, stats, and live radio broadcasts for every NBA game, only a mouse click away. That's NBA.com, your ultimate online resource for all things NBA. Grant hits the second free throw. Back home in Cincinnati, they call him the General. Brian Grant, from the same hometown, Georgetown, Ohio, as General Ulysses Grant. Gugliotta wide open, top of the key, rimmed out. Sabonis ruling the defensive boards now for Portland.
Again, the idea for Portland is to try to find something on that front line. Wallace trying to work his way around. That was a tougher shot. That one goes in.
How'd he do that? There was all kinds of traffic around there, and he muscled it up and threw his first basket. Gugliotta, nice fake. Couldn't get away from Grant. Robinson for 3. Long rebound to Grant. Outlet Stoudemire. Phoenix back on defense, but Ryder takes it right to the rim and scores.
Somehow we ought to be giving points for a degree of difficulty in basketball, because this one goes up there. He can't see the rim. Got to get it up and under the arm. Nice little action. And Ryder in the open court. This is one of the tougher shots to hit on the move. A little hesitation and a chance for a three-point play.
Well, you heard Paul Sunderland talking about J.R. Ryder. Mike Dunleavy saying his attitude was all important to the team. On time today and on time in the first quarter. 7 points so far for J.R. Ryder, who some have said spends as much time in the police lineup as he does the Trailblazers lineup.
Ogman in the ball game. Wallace coming out, so they got Wallace going. They pick up a personal foul against Stoudemire on the block against Rex Chapman. New 24 for the Phoenix Suns.
Stacey Ogman, the defensive specialist. 21 starts for him this season. He leads the NBA in steal to turnover ratio. Cliff Robinson, nice move. The jump hook finds the net for his 4th point. And the Suns have tied it at 14.
They try to find Sabonis, who's yet to get any action scoring in the first quarter. Low hook goes in.
An odd-looking off-balance shot. Sabonis, of course, his leaping times are long gone. He was able to just sort of face halfway to the basket and loft the soft hook. 2 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds for the big man. Rex Chapman misses the shot. Grant all alone for the rebound.
When you're a jump shooting team like Phoenix is, a lot of the time, if you quick shoot it and you don't score it, the other team's going to get it, run it back on you. Good rebound, Robinson and the Suns.
Jason Kidd.
Wow.
Crossover dribble right around Ryder, but Grant blocked it. Loose ball, Sabonis. Here's Ryder, 2-on-2. Ogman.
That was a terrific change of pace by Jason Kidd and a better reaction by Grant to make the save. He went right by Ryder, was right at the rim, and it turned out to be an easy 2 for Stacey Ogman.
Pick and roll. Longley from Gugliotta draws the foul from Brian Grant.
Jason Kidd on his way to the rim, thought he was free, and Grant knocked it away, made a save, and that sent Portland in his track meet the other way. And once Ryder got the ball, he's got pretty good vision and a good decision. Ogman with 2 hands over the top.
Portland leading Phoenix 18-14. Phoenix is not a good rebounding team, 21st in the NBA, and in the regular season, their 3 games won by the Blazers. Look at the rebounding margin. The Blazers out-rebounding them by 25, 9, and 15. So needless to say, it was a priority for Phoenix today, and so far they've hung right in there, tied in rebounds 10-10, and they have not allowed Portland an offensive rebound all day.
And that was their story yesterday when we talked to them. We've got to do a better job on the glass, and we've got to keep them from getting multiple opportunities. So they're in this one right now by accomplishing that task.
George McLeod on the floor for Phoenix. Portland has gone on a 10-2 run the last 2 minutes. Longley. Sabonis might have gotten a piece. Portland takes it the other way. Stoudemire back out to Ryder. Looking inside for Grant, being fronted by Gugliotta. Now in position. There's the entry pass. Grant, the jump stop and the bucket. That was a tough one. Bodies all around, and he got his 4th point.
Good patience by Grant that time to get that opportunity. A lot of times he'll rush that shot, but he stayed under control, got it to fall. Back to Cliff Robinson against Auburn.
Got around him, couldn't finish. Gugliotta, the offensive rebound. Launches one. And Sabonis clears. That's 6 rebounds for Arvydas Sabonis. Stoudemire. Back rim, long rebound to Gugliotta. He leads the break. He's got Robinson in front. And he's fouled as he takes it to the basket.
Portland is a more physical team, and Phoenix is trying to show that they're not going to be pushed around. As you take a look at the power forward matchup between Gugliotta and Grant. Grant will eventually win it, but it's hard work to get this one done, and he scores inside. Cliff Robinson was fouled in the open court by Stacey Augmon.
First foul on Augmon. As Cliff Robinson, as you see that disparity between the regular season numbers and the career playoff numbers.
And every player wants to be noted for great playoff play. And that's been really the knock against Cliff Robinson. Great regular season player, has been able to deliver the goods. That's what he's been fighting. He gets 1 or 2 free throws a year.
What's that saying again?
You make your game in the regular season, you get your fame in the playoffs.
Does that count for announcers, too?
Oh, we got to get famous now.
Sabonis in long range. Grant. Second time in a row, he's taken it right to Gugliotta, and he has a half dozen points. Final seconds of the first quarter, and Portland building a 7-point lead.
And Dunleavy would have to be happy with this team's defensive energy, their rebounding, and their patience over the last 4 minutes at the offensive end.
McLeod for 3. A much-needed bucket for the Phoenix Suns by George McLeod, his first shot of the game. He, of course, is in the top 10 in three-point percentage in the NBA. That shot will end the first quarter. J.R. Ryder had a big first quarter. 7 points. And Isaiah is the leading scorer in the game. At the end of one, it's Portland leading Phoenix 22-18. They end the quarter on a 14-6 run from the Rose Garden in Portland. The NBA on NBC. That'll be tomorrow night here on NBC.
You know, as we take a look at the combatants this afternoon, Sabonis and Luke Longley, they haven't gotten really a lot of big play offensively from either one, but they're going to be counted on to rebound. This is a funny series. If the Suns are playing the Trailblazers in the first round, history says they'll win. They have won all 3 first-round matchups that they've had. If it gets any deeper than that, it favors the Trailblazers. So Portland trying to crack a little bit of history, and it's home and home. 8-3, that's the number for both teams, winning away and at home.
Greg Anthony is on for Portland, and Jim Jackson is out there too. Rasheed Wallace has returned as Sabonis reverses it through. Randy Livingston, Pat Garrity, and Danny Manning on the floor in the Phoenix lineup.
Randy Livingston just signed, and so there's a lot of pressure on him to try to deliver some quality play in a short period of time.
In fact, Livingston had a ticket for Venezuela, He got a call at 6 a.m. from the Suns and said, "Can you come to us now to be our backup point guard?" He'd already paid for the ticket, but he says, "You know what? Somebody else can use that ticket. I'm going to Phoenix."
I think he asked for a refund from the Phoenix Suns.
Garrity in traffic is fouled. Garrity, the rookie from Notre Dame.
Sabonis is a player that really does get a lot of mileage out of a body that's very bruised and battered, and this time spins away from Luke Longley to score his first bucket of the second quarter. But he doesn't, as big as he is, he does not like people laying all over him, and I'm sure Luke Longley knows that and will try to just live on his back the entire afternoon. Danny Manning.
Manning, of course, is the walking medical miracle as Livingston gets it to Longley. And a foul is called on Portland. And Danny Manning is the only professional athlete that anyone has ever heard of that has come back from 3 ACL surgeries. Foul was on Sabonis, his first.
This second unit of the Trailblazers is really what has made their success all season long. McLeod looking for another hoop. Won't stay.
Sabonis just pinned it against the glass, then took down number 7.
Trying to find Wallace against Garrity. Get a hold inside. You can tell when Sabonis is in it just by the way that he rebounds defensively. One hand goes up. Put some stickum on it. Make sure we get it.
Had Garrity committing his first foul.
Another one inside.
Well, his second foul. Excuse me. Got to talk faster.
They give that one to Livingston on the screen, but both of those players in an interchange, and Portland's trying to get the ball to Wallace against a smaller Garrity.
There it is. Goes right over him, but can't finish the shot. Got his own. Missed again. This time it's rebounded by Livingston.
Yeah, they're going to get a foul against Wallace in the backcourt. A little pop on the shoulder of Garrity, and that's more frustration. He had 2 chances inside, wanted to call, didn't get it. Looked at the guy that was guarding him and said, "Okay, then you take it."
Well, one of the things Mike Dunleavy has called for from his team in the postseason is poise, and Rasheed Wallace losing his there for a moment and picking up a needless foul.
Yeah, he's a very emotional player as he is talking to the official now, but they need him to stay under wraps. As we take a look at the play, Garrity coming out, Wallace with a little pork chop.
Both these teams trying to change recent history. Phoenix lost in the first round 3 straight years. Portland has gone out 6 straight in the first round. Gugliotta drew the double team. Manning, Danny Manning, the floater, his first basket.
You know, Manning's equally as remarkable as Sabonis in that they have really been tattered and torn, and to be able to come out and play at a world-class level and do some of the things they still do, it's amazing. Looking for Sabonis, and Longley keeps him at bay.
Jackson got a step on McLeod. Manning with a help defense. Here's Augman.
They're going to give Augman perimeter shots.
That's why.
He is, you know, he's improved, but just the book is still make him beat you from the outside. Anthony on a steal.
But he didn't wait for his teammates. He launched instead, 1-on-3. And now Phoenix to McLeod, who lays it in easily. So Anthony, instead of waiting for his teammates, missed the shot, leading to a bucket on the other end for the Suns.
Two-point ball game again. A screen across and looking for Rasheed Wallace, being guarded by Gugliotta right now. Wallace looking at the clock.
Gugliotta taking up the defense on Wallace. Livingston a brief double team, and Portland throws it away.
The Phoenix Suns want to try to get the high percentage shot, so they're going to try to drive the ball as much as they can. And as I said, this is a difficult shot. Danny Manning off the glass with a finish. And the first rule of defense is get you the guy with the ball. Anthony doesn't get there in time, and it's an easy 2 for George McLeod.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By American Express Small Business Services. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. And by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile dealers.
know, if you hang around coaches long enough, you get to understand coach speak. And as we take a look at the Trailblazers, we understand the concern of Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge said Portland's big men are athletic, they're big, they're long. That's the word, long. They just don't jump anymore. So they find a variety of ways to score. That's what Portland has done with their big men up front to hold on to a 2-point advantage.
I don't think anybody called Sabonis athletic lately, but he is big.
Well, they cover it all. See, if you're big, you're long, you're athletic, you get everybody in that group. Pressure by Portland.
Phoenix has hit 2 of 3 shots in the quarter. Portland only 1 of 5.
Well, the newness of Livingston out on the floor certainly hasn't hurt him. George McLeod looking for a 3, aired it out.
McLeod, who hit a 3 earlier with the air ball there, with a look of disbelief, thought perhaps he was nicked on the elbow as he put it on its way.
You always look that way when you hit nothing.
Well, it was nothing but net. Nothing but net. As it hit the outside of the net. Grant spinning on Gugliotta. That shot has been there for him all day. The jump hook that time, the turnaround a couple of other occasions, and he has 8 points.
Terrific start for Grant, and he's getting too deep a position against Gugliotta. Manning.
Outside shot by Manning is no good. Jackson the rebound.
In an open court game for Dunleavy, the concern will be turnovers and shot selection. This team can get happy, try to make too many spectacular plays, foul against George McLeod. Notice the position. See that dotted line? That's too deep right there. And if you get that deep, you're going to get punished, and that's what Grant does to Gugliotta. He's got to get them further away. Perfect from the field, 3 of 3.
Sabonis to Anthony on the skip pass. Had a foot on the line, but missed anyway. McLeod with the rebound, brings it into front court to Livingston. Blazers by 4. Gugliotta double team for a moment. Anthony then backs off. Livingston calling for it. Cuts to the basket. Out of bounds. Phoenix gets it back with 5 to shoot.
Danny Ainge reminding these guys with 5 seconds on the shot clock, wanting to get it up and down. Sabonis has had a very good run, is going to get his first break of the afternoon, but he has been active offensively and defensively. When you see him in the passing lane, the big cat, and you know he's the big cat, he's really involved.
Kelvin Cato replacing Sabonis. Cato 6'11" in his second season from Iowa State.
Robinson and Chapman back in the lineup. Livingston looking for the quick score.
Couldn't finish it. Rebounded by Grant. Anthony and Jackson out there for Portland, and Jackson lays it in from Anthony. 2 of the players that have sacrificed their minutes for team success with the Trailblazers this season. Both were starters, of course, before coming to Portland.
Well, Jackson at Dallas averaged 25 a game and got nothing but abuse for doing so. Now he's in the playoffs, and he feels that that will all change, and it usually does. If you're on a winning team, people begin to think of you in totally different terms.
Livingston got the roll.
Tough runner.
First basket for Randy Livingston. Former LSU Tiger. Just signed and put on the playoff roster.
When he was with the Rockets, Tom Donovich loved him, but he was rehabilitating from some knee injuries, never really got a chance to play.
Knee problems plaguing him from his days in Baton Rouge on into the NBA. Anthony beats the shot clock, but misses it. And Gugliotta gives it up to Chapman. Driving and fouled by Jackson. And we've got a timeout with 6:26 left in the second quarter. Portland continues to lead Phoenix. It's 28-24.
The double team. Price is open for 3. No good. Offensive rebound, Harrington. He can't bang it home, but he gets another opportunity. Knocked up in the air. Dickerson for the ball. And a jump ball called with Murdoch.
Jason Williams, who at times is taking over the game, and right now is one of those times.
Bounce pass, drive the baseline, reverse layup, good! I'll bring out the highlight film now. Put his name on the marquee.
Coming up next, the NBA playoffs continue. The Sacramento Kings the Utah Jazz. All three of their regular season meetings went into overtime. Now it's time for their playoff showdown when the up-and-coming Kings face the defending Western Conference champions. The race for the rings, next on NBC.
Tom Hammond, Steve Jones, Paul Sunderland in Portland, where the Trailblazers lead the Suns 28-24. A potent weapon for the Trailblazers this season has been their depth, good bench production.
It has been high octane for the Trailblazers, and really one of the reasons that they've had such a very, very successful season, and they've been able to shut down their opponent's bench. That's not the story this afternoon, as the Phoenix Suns have gotten some quality play in the person of George McLeod to get them on top here early.
Rex Chapman sinks the free throw for the Suns. He's an 84% free throw shooter, has been a good free throw shooter throughout his career in college at Kentucky and in the NBA. He's the son of a coach. His dad, Wayne, played in the ABA for Kentucky, Denver, and Indiana, and coached Kentucky Wesleyan to a NCAA Division II championship. So spent a lot of time in the gyms growing up, a lot of times at ABA games, and has been a good shooter throughout his career.
Well, Rex is one of those guys that is terrific, and that was a great play by Robinson to get a piece of the block, and somehow it went in for Kelvin Cato.
First bucket for Cato, and Anthony, a backcourt foul of Jason Kidd. Number 2 on Greg Anthony. Like Darrell Armstrong, Anthony has taken to having a couple of cups of coffee to pump up his energy before the game and after each quarter. And a little too much energy there. This is the Pacific Northwest, so it's not unusual to see people going to the coffee, is it? In fact, I think Bryant Grant has taken up the coffee drinking before a game, too.
Yeah, but, you know, with Armstrong, it has a special effect. And I think it has a special effect with Anthony. I think Grant is just trying to wake up, you know.
I think the difference is up here in the Northwest, they like their coffee. Anthony puts about 8 packets of sugar in his.
Manning with 2 free throws.
Damon Stoudemire's returned at the point for the Trailblazers. Jackson trying to get it in to Grant, and it's a kick by Cliff Robinson. Recycle the 24.
You know, we talked about Portland's bench, and one of the things that Danny Ainge has is some very potent bench players in Danny Manning, George McLeod, and when those guys are cooking along with Garrity, they can give Portland some problem and concern as they reset the clock. Jackson against Kidd.
Turnaround no good. Rebounded by Cato, and he's fouled by Cliff Robinson.
Second personal against Cliff Robinson. The first time he was able to block the shot, and it still went in. This time he had to get there to keep Cato from getting up, so he picks his second personal foul.
Cliff Robinson, who has spent 8 years in Portland and went to the finals twice with the Blazers, now in a Suns uniform. First free throw good. Don't forget, next on NBC, Game 3 of this NBA on NBC playoff tripleheader as the Kings visit the Delta Center to battle the Utah Jazz. What's the over-under on Jason Williams behind-the-back passes today?
How many? Or will he make any?
Or will he connect? I see. Game 3 of our tripleheader coming up from Salt Lake City next.
Cato with both the free throws.
Kelvin Cato off the bench, giving Mike Dunleavy some production. There's a shuffle of the feet by Danny Manning, and Dick Bavetta nailed him.
I'm telling Dick I had 3 ACLs. I can't make that move anymore.
The fact that he can shuffle his feet is amazing.
Turnovers are down for both teams that like to run and trying to get up and down. They've taken pretty good care of the ball here in the first 24 minutes. Going to get a foul, this one against Grant. You know, it's big men don't like to get out of the way. If you get in their way, then you're going to pay. Robinson also learned over the years. There's a little Hollywood in this one. Good job of drawing the officials' attention to it, and Suns have possession.
Chapman, lob pass for Gugliotta, and a beauty. Gugliotta mugged underneath by Cato. Cato took the worst of it, too, I think, with a finger in the eye.
And Gugliotta, he's not happy. He's running over like he might have dislocated something immediately right at the trainer right there.
Yep.
He's in a lot of pain, too.
Pop it back into place.
It's not any good when you pop it back into place. This is a good lead, and Cato recognizes it, but he's a little late in getting there. Bang, right across the head and the hand, and Cato I think he got hit in the head, maybe with the forehead of Gugliotta. But one more look at the play as he spins inside. The defense is late. Elbow. That's what got him.
Cato airborne. And both Gugliotta and Kelvin Cato come away the worse for wear. Gugliotta has the finger popped back into place and hits the first free throw. And Cato, the offensive force, he scored the last 4 Portland points. That's one above his per-game average. He'll go to the bench now.
That means Wallace, Williams, and Grant play up front.
Walt Williams replacing Cato. Williams 4th in the NBA in three-point percentage. That's his shot. Free throws make it a 2-point game. Gugliotta has a half dozen and 6 rebounds. He jumps out on the switch to stop Stoudemire's penetration.
They're posting Grant against Robinson, who's got 3 fouls, 6 on the shot clock. Quick spin inside.
All down by Gugliotta. That's his 7th board. He led Phoenix in both scoring and rebounding in the regular season.
It's a tough matchup for Walt Williams against Danny Manning because Manning's got this little hook shot that he likes to throw up.
What about that?
Well, that's an off-balance one, but again, Manning showing you that even with the damaged legs, he's still a potent scorer inside.
6 points. We're tied at 32. J.R. Ryder against Rex Chapman.
Ryder was very aggressive in the first part of the ball game, coming back in against Chapman, overpowering him, gets first 2 of the second quarter.
And for J.R., 9 in the game. Kidd trying to back Stoudemire down.
Not a good matchup for the Trailblazers when Stoudemire switches off. Tough shot, Chapman.
Made a good fake to get open, but then couldn't hit the shot. And a loose ball foul called on Grant of Portland. That's number 3 on Grant.
Whenever Danny Manning can get the ball down here, try to break you down, he's either looking for this fall away one-legger or he's going to come with the hook shot. Ryder bullying his way against Rex Chapman for his first 2 of the second quarter.
Danny Manning, former college player of the year for Kansas when Larry Brown took them to the national championship. 7 points now as Grant leaves the game with 3 fouls, replaced by Cato. So Brian Grant, in disgust, goes to the bench, and Cato, shaking off the effects of that Gugliotta elbow, back into the game.
Well, the one thing that Grant gives them is energy and physical presence on the front line. He didn't want to sit down. 3:45 to go, and we have a timeout. Looks like a 20-second timeout.
Grant, who is the Trailblazers' leading rebounder, sits with 3 fouls. Next Sunday on NBC, a runaway train carrying a Russian atomic bomb. The brakes are out, and a city's in its path. It's a race against time with the fate of millions in the balance. Rob Lowe stars in the NBC movie event Atomic Train next Sunday on NBC. Well, this is the first game in the Western Conference playoffs. We saw the Knicks upset the Heat in Miami in the Eastern tip-off, and here it's the situation in the West. San Antonio will play Minnesota tomorrow. That's the middle game of the triple-header on NBC. The Lakers, Houston, that's the 3rd of 3. Utah and Sacramento follows this game, and of course, this is game 1 of the best-of-5 between Portland and Phoenix.
And teams 1, 2, 3, and 4, they all want to take care of business in that first game. They want to secure that home court advantage, throw the pressure back the other way, because they all feel that the first game is crucial to surviving the series.
Phoenix has hit 9 of 10 at the free throw line. They've tied it at 34. Wallace. Rasheed Wallace misses from outside. Garrity mistimed his jump, lost the rebound, and Williams can't hit. Cato over the back for the personal foul and slams the ball. That'll be good for a technical foul as well.
An example of emotions right there. And Dunleavy not happy with Cato's response. Barks at the official, but at the same time trying to get Cato to understand what he has to do.
J.R. Ryder, the steadying force, the peacemaker, the old hand over to talk to Cato. We laugh about that because Ryder has been in Mike Dunleavy's doghouse on several occasions, most notably being late for a game, and Dunleavy saying it had to stop, but as you see Cato slamming the ball and getting the tee. But so far today, J.R. Ryder appears to have his A game. He's played well.
Now, Ryder can be a very, very positive force when he's of a mind to, and these are the playoffs. Remember last year in the first round, he was a driving force against Eddie Jones. His first time in the playoffs, wanting to make a statement. I think he wants to back it up with a better statement this year. See if Portland survives the first round and gets into the second.
Phoenix continues to drill the free throws. Garrity hits 2. And the Suns are up 37-34. They're 12 of 13 at the line.
The free throw line has kept them in the ball game and got them on the lead. They're looking for Walt Williams against Rex Chapman. Middle is open. They're going to get a foul against Rex Chapman.
Chapman sprinted to the other end thinking that it was a clear out on Williams. Rex Chapman has been known as a good shooter, but not as a good defensive player.
This is a very difficult matchup for him because Walt Williams is a bigger guy, stronger guy, able to get the center of gravity down, and you can see Rex Chapman thought, what about the hook? Williams misses the first free throw.
Rex's acting needs a little work, too, I think. That's what Dick Pavetta just told him. He agreed. Meanwhile, Williams missed the first free throw.
And Chapman is saying, yeah, take me out. As George McLeod runs to the table, Walt Williams misses them both.
And Gugliotta with his 8th rebound. That was Chapman's second foul, by the way. 3 minutes left in the half. There's the free throw situation in this quarter, 11 for 11. And Danny Manning gets to the rim and hits for 10 points, all in the quarter off the Phoenix bench.
When Phoenix has beaten Portland, that's the guy, 15, that's been the difference with his ability to score inside and off the bench. Walt Williams tied up steal. Jason Kidd.
Kidd with a double down and then threw it away. Stoudemire cut off by Manning.
Well, when Portland got their lead early, it was because they were able to get in transition. Late break for Rasheed Wallace. His second field goal of the afternoon.
And that slam by Wallace stops a 7-0 Phoenix run. Just over 2 minutes left till halftime. Suns with the ball up 3. Jason Kidd, they concede the 12-footer, and he hit it. He worked long and hard over the summer on his shot. His wife and their new infant coming to the gym. His wife would rebound, trying to get back in shape as Jason put up shot after shot.
Well, she was getting in good shape then because he missed the lap.
Walt Williams did not miss that one, his first basket. And it cuts the lead to 3.
Ryder has done a pretty good job in the half court of keeping Kidd in front of him. Kidd misses that deep 3.
But then steps in the passing lane for the interception. Nearly fell down, somehow kept his balance and did not travel. Gugliotta, open shot. There's Kidd again for the rebound. One of the best rebounding guards in the NBA, averaging 6 rebounds a game.
Well, Kidd is one of those guys that does whatever it takes to win, and rebounding right now is one of the things he's bringing to the table for Phoenix.
Garrity with a screen. Chapman goes the other way. Floater, back rim. On the floor, Gugliotta scrapping with it with Ryder, and Ryder wins the battle. .45 seconds till halftime.
Looking at the matchup, Walt Williams against Rex Chapman. Chapman with 2 fouls. 2 hands over the top, Walt Williams.
Portland continues to attack Rex Chapman. And the lead cut to 1. 30 seconds in the half. Garrity. Rebounded by Wallace. Here's the outlet. Stoudemire leads the break. It's 3-on-3. The coach will back it out.
The coach is going nuts over there saying 1-1-1, and the players will say, we had a shot. Forget that hold in.
They will hold for one. There's a 1 second differential between game clock and shot clock.
Trying to come back to the Walt Williams matchup with Chapman.
Shoots over him, can't hit. Rebounded by Garrity. And they won't get a shot away as the first half comes to a close. It's been a series of runs, first by Portland, an answering one by Phoenix, and then Portland just before halftime. Danny Manning, 10 points off the Phoenix bench, has been huge for the Suns, who hold a 1-point lead at the end of the first half at the Rose Garden in Portland, game 1 of the best-of-5 series. At the end of the first half, it's the Phoenix Suns 41 and the Portland Trail Blazers 40. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Hi, everybody. Hannah Storm in New York. Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll have the moving story of Vlade Divac of the Sacramento Kings. Even as he plays in the NBA playoffs, he's preoccupied with the plight of his parents and other family members back in his homeland of Serbia.
I've been calling, twice a day, try to, find out what's happening and if they are okay. So far, they're okay, if I can say that word right now, because anything can happen any time.
We'll have the story of Vlade Divac coming up shortly. His team, the Sacramento Kings, in Utah to play the Jazz in Game 3 of our triple header. We'll be back with the Prudential Halftime Report right after these messages.
A leader in insurance, investments, real estate, and financial services. See why Prudential is today's rock-solid choice for your financial needs.
It's halftime in Portland with the Suns leading the Trailblazers 41-40. Danny Manning off the Phoenix bench leads all scorers with 10 points. All of them coming in the second quarter. Hi, everybody. Hannah Storm back with Isaiah Thomas and Peter Vesey, and we'll check in with them shortly. First, Vlade Divac of the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento visits Utah in the third game of our triple header. Divac is playing exceptionally well as these playoffs start, but for him, playing games is actually a relief. Because off the court, Divac is going through an excruciating time. The native Serb is consumed with the welfare of his family back in the former Yugoslavia.
One day I was talking to my dad. He said the planes just flying over their houses. They can see them. And then, they're dropping bombs all around the city. It's really scary. The basketball gives me, I guess, some relief. Probably when I talked with my dad, he said, son, you just keep working, and don't think about what's happening here because you really can't help it right now.
How can Vlade Divac not think about the conflict tearing apart his homeland? A native Serb, Divac grew up in a town near the Kosovo border, in Prijepolje, where his family still lives.
I've been calling, twice a day, try to, find out what's happening and if they are okay. So far, they're okay, if I can say that word right now, because anything can happen any time.
Basketball is a refuge for Divac, but the real world is never far away.
I've been sleeping very little, lately, just 4 or 5 hours a day, really. And I don't know how, but I find the energy to practice, to play basketball, and sometimes, when I go back to my apartment and with the families, I find myself living lately double life, When I go back, I'm starting, watching TV, calling parents, friends, talking to my family, praying, doing everything possible to ease my, pain of all those people there.
On the court, Divac wears a black armband to protest the NATO bombings. Off the court, he is equally outspoken.
And I really love this country, love these people. I think this is the greatest people in the world. But the politics is so terrible.
I mean, if you look at those refugees, Albanians, it's so sad that, they had to go through that kind of things. You look at Serbian people, regular people, innocent people, they, living in a hell, because bombing falling in every seconds of their houses, and it's just they didn't deserve that, Politicians from both sides has to go back and find the peace, because it's easy to go in war. It's hard to make peace.
Because of the ethnic strife in Divac' homeland, he and his family started a fund 7 years ago to help children affected by the violence. Their commitment to children continues today with the recent adoption of Petra, an orphan from Kosovo. These are bittersweet times for Vlade Divac, the joy of a baby daughter, the sadness of a once proud patriot whose country has dissolved into chaos.
I stand for peace. My message is just think about people. Don't think about politics. Think about people.
Earlier this season, Vlade Divac applied to become an American citizen. He has received a great deal of support from the fans in Sacramento, which he says has helped sustain him through this heartbreaking time. When we return, we'll have highlights of a surprising Game 1 in Miami between the Knicks and the Heat. First, a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Let's get back to our playoff reports. The early game tomorrow is Philadelphia at Orlando, two teams that failed to make the playoffs last year. This matchup wasn't set until the final night of the regular season. We're joined now by Matt Gukas from Orlando. And Matt, the Sixers have to like this matchup.
Well, Hannah, of the four top teams in the East, Orlando is the one the Sixers feel they have the best chance again. Based on the 3 games played, 2 convincing wins, and Philadelphia gave one away in the closing seconds, so there's good cause for confidence. Now, in this series, most eyes will be on Allen Iverson, the NBA scoring champ, coming into his first playoff experience with a chance to prove he's not just a big scorer on a mid-level team, but a winner on the next level.
Now the question for the Orlando Magic becomes, what do you do to defend Allen Iverson? Big test for former sixth man Darrell Armstrong.
And I don't think there's anybody that can guard Allen Iverson one-on-one, but Orlando's Darrell Armstrong has at least a fighting chance because of his quickness and his defensive mindset. In the one Orlando win against the Sixers, he harassed Iverson into a 5-for-21 6-turnover performance and then made that unbelievable steal and basket all in about 3.5 seconds. Darrell Armstrong having an award-winning year. He's been the glue, the catalyst all season long for the Magic. And one key for Orlando in this series, Darrell Armstrong has to make Allen Iverson work at the defensive end, Hannah.
Thanks, Matt. Well, he averages about 15 points as a starter. He'll continue to start tomorrow, and we look forward to that game and your call then. Meanwhile, staying in Florida, a shocker earlier today in Miami. The #1 team in the East, the Heat, were routed by the #8 team, the New York Knicks. Patrick Ewing had trouble shooting, but hauled down 15 rebounds, out-rebounding their entire front line. New York shot 53%. Latrell Sprewell takes it all the way. The three-point play, he had 22 off the bench. Allen Houston getting it to Larry Johnson. Johnson nails the three. New York up by 16 after 3. They go on to win it by 20. 95-75, handing the Heat their worst loss of the season. The Knicks take a 1-0 lead in the series. Here's head coach Jeff Van Gundy.
You know, we just got one of those rolls today, and they missed a lot of good open shots that they usually make. And, you know, just had a good day.
We did not play well, did not play as hard as we should. They were at the top of their game, and we have to definitely make some adjustments in a couple of areas and come back Monday night.
We have to put this game behind us. We can't think about it. We can't come back talking about getting revenge and trying to do this and trying to do that. We just got to work harder.
There are more than a few people who thought the Knicks had a chance to win this game. There aren't many, however, Isaiah, that predicted a blowout in Miami. Can you put this in perspective for us?
And I'm not really surprised by the blowout because the speed and the versatility of the Knicks, when you look at Camby, when you look at Houston, when you look at Sprewell, the damage that they're able to do in the transition game and in the fast-paced game, Miami really has no answers for those three. And if New York can continue to keep the pressure up in a fast-paced game, I don't think there's any answers, any adjustments that Riley can make in Game 2 to counteract what Van Gundy and the Knicks are doing.
All three of those guys create mismatches for the Heat.
Yeah, we'll see on Monday night. That's game 2. Meanwhile, in the game going on right now, the Suns lead the Blazers 41-40. This is a team they lost to 3 times this season. Besides your guy, Danny Manning, having a great game off the bench offensively. Peter, what impresses you about Phoenix?
Well, all the pressure is on Cliff Robinson returning home to Portland, where he was branded as a bust in the playoffs when he played for the Blazers. And in this game, he's had to play defense. That's what he's been known for basically this whole season. But now he had to play against Wallace when Dunleavy put him into the starting lineup. He held him down. He matches up with him in length. And then when Brian Grant went off against Gugliotta and had 8 points, they switched over Cliff Robinson on him, and he shut him down. So he is key. He's got to stay in the game.
Been their defensive stopper all year, and they're hanging in there on the board, something that a lot of people didn't expect against the Blazers. Suns lead it by 1. We'll send you back to Portland for the second half after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential. Prudential, a leader in insurance, investments, real estate, and financial services. See why Prudential is today's rock-solid choice for your financial needs. The NBA on NBC is brought to you by NBC's Sunday movie, The Hunt for the Unicorn Killer.
Halftime at the Rose Garden in Portland, where the Phoenix Suns, despite shooting only 37% from the field, have a 1-point lead over the Portland Trailblazers, 41-40. Danny Manning with a big 10 points in 12 minutes off the Phoenix bench. And Steve, I guess it's that near-perfect free throw shooting by Phoenix, hitting a 12 of 13, that's kept them not only in the game, but in the lead.
Oh, there's no question that was what got them a way to get into the ball game. And then Danny Manning made a few key field goals, and he's really been the bench story for them, provided a big pop, and they now have an advantage over a team that's had a big bench story the entire season. So it'll be interesting to see how Dunleavy gets his troops back into it.
Take a look at some first-half trends, and I think we'll see that rebounding, as we mentioned, would be a huge factor, and Phoenix holding its own with Portland.
Phoenix came in knowing that they were going to have to do a better job on the glass, and they've done so, and the Trailblazers have done a good job of scoring in the paint, but consistently, Portland wants to be able to open this game up, attack the rim. Phoenix is doing a good job of keeping them out of that kind of transition offense.
All right, Phoenix leading Portland 41-40 in game 1 of the best of 5. Back for the start of the third quarter in just a moment.
Welcome back to the Rose Garden in Portland. The Phoenix Suns surprisingly on top of the Portland Trailblazers at the half, 41-40. Paul Sunderland back with you courtside. Spoke mostly with Danny Ainge at the half, and he was very, very happy, in particular with the work of his team on the backboards. As you might imagine, the Trailblazers with a huge advantage in the 3 regular season games. So keep that work up, particularly against the offensive boards. Tom Gugliotta dislocated his ring finger on his right hand. Joe Prosky popped it back in the first half. He's got it taped. It's sore, but Danny Ainge said, hey, I'm going to play it as long as I can. Back to you guys.
Tapped, no good by Ryder, and pulled down by Longley, and Gugliotta is out there to start the second half. Thanks, Paul. Along with Jason Kidd, Chapman, Longley, and Cliff Robinson, original starting 5 for Phoenix, and the starting quintet for Portland intact too. Sabonis blocking the Longley attempted jam. Stoudemire, Ryder, Sabonis, Grant, and Wallace for Portland.
Stoudemire has not been able to get himself going offensively. They come back to Grant against Gugliotta. He scores right at the rim. So whenever Portland sees Grant against Gugliotta, they're going to try to go inside. Whenever Chapman is out on the floor, they're going to attack him with Jackson, Ryder, and Williams. Cliff Robinson with a miss.
Outside shot cleared by Grant. Here's Stoudemire front court. Pull up. Damon Stoudemire, and Portland scores 2 quick buckets to open the third quarter and to retake the lead over Ainge and the Suns.
And Danny Ainge told us yesterday that he wanted to keep this out of a half-court game as much as he could, but Portland has had the better of the open court play this afternoon. Good drive by Gugliotta, and Sabonis is on the money this afternoon. He's been able to react and knock away shots for Portland, rebound the ball. Grant overpowering Gugliotta, who gambled for an easy 2.
Meanwhile, the Suns' top 3 scorers this year, Gugliotta, Kidd, and Robinson, Chapman, All those scores combined have just 2 field goals in the last 19 minutes. So their big guns have been silent. Manning off the bench has been the most consistent scorer.
Well, Chapman got his first shot to fall. It was clean. It was pure. Everything else has been a quick shot, and he hasn't found a rhythm. But he is the most dangerous guy in the NBA when he catches fire, and Portland's going to try to cool him off. Ryder.
And the Trailblazers open up, smoking the nets for the third quarter, and the Phoenix Suns will take a timeout. A 6-0 run by the Trailblazers to open the third. Dating back to the second quarter, Portland has now scored 10 straight points. Timeout Suns. J.R. Ryder, the latest to get into the act. And it's Portland leading Phoenix 46-41.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, helping you play longer and stronger when it counts the most. Gatorade, is it in you? By Chrysler, engineered to beat great cars. And by Adidas.
Not far from the banks of the Willamette River in the Rose Garden, and the dreadlocks are all over the house. Some of those guys look like they might have a better chance of buying some hair than growing it in honor of Brian Grant.
You know how long it takes to get dreads, so you better go buy some.
Phoenix scoring its first bucket of the third quarter.
Again, back to the Ryder-Chapman matchup as much as they can. Sabonis on the move, and he wanted a foul, and Luke Longley gets a jump ball. You like to get Sabonis on the move simply because he doesn't like people handling him. Longley does a good job of getting both hands on the ball, so they will jump it at Portland's end.
2 Olympic players formerly, Sabonis for the Soviet Union and for Lithuania, and Longley for Australia. Sabonis, as a member of the Soviet team, took the gold medal in Seoul in 1988. He launches the 3 and hits it. The Big Cat. The Big Cat let some of us pose with that gold medal for some pictures after the basketball venue in Seoul, and the Big Cat gets 6 points. Gugliotta with a 2-point answer for Phoenix.
Well, that's one way to even out the matchup between himself and Grant. Take him outside, pop a few over the top, outside touch returning for him. And Phoenix didn't shoot the ball well in the first half, so Ainge has got to be happy about that sign.
Stoudemire off a screen, the pass right on target, his shot no good. And the rebound by Cliff Robinson. Phoenix re-energized after the timeout, getting untracked. Kidd with a good ball fake, penetration, the pull-off though is no good. Rasheed Wallace, the carom.
His focus on that shot was more on where Damon Stoudemire was than it really was the basket. Anytime you get a player doing like that, and he's not a great perimeter player to begin with, you're probably going to get a miss. Ryder.
J.R. tough fall-away shot. Isaiah has 13. He has been clearly focused in today's game, hitting 6 of his 10 shots. Chapman off a screen, back to Kidd for 3. Jason Kidd, shooting 36% behind the arc in the regular season, now has 9 points.
One of the things that Dunleavy said is you have to outscore the Phoenix Suns. No pun intended, but they've got to be able to continue to make shots, and if they don't, they'll find themselves down on the scoreboard.
Stoudemire for 3. Went out, came back through. Damon Stoudemire. Robinson driving on Grant. Skip pass, saved by Gugliotta. He gets the no-look to Robinson, who drives and scores. Nice play. Googs to Cliff. A 20-point win by the Knicks in Miami. A shocker today.
Yeah, it's either a rude wake-up call or it's the beginning of something very bad for the Miami Heat. But that series has always been very explosive, and Monday night should be a very, very physical game.
Stoudemire called for the travel after he had seen the steal made and then took it back.
In a wild exchange, the Phoenix Suns are able to make something out of a broken play as Gugliotta finds Cliff Robinson on the move. First two of the second half for Cliff.
Suns trail by 3. Gugliotta dishes to Longley. Gugliotta once again with the assist. And Longley the finish.
Well, Luke Longley needs somebody to set him up, and in Chicago was always Jordan giving him that little base down line shot. Now Gugliotta does the same thing here in Phoenix. Looking for Ryder against Chapman.
5 of their last 6. Ryder dishes off, and a foul called. Cliff Robinson thought he got all ball, but he's assessed the personal. And on Cliff, number 3.
Third personal. And he's in pain. Does not like it. As Wallace will get his first trip to the line. But they are going to go through Ryder to make the defense react, knowing that it's an overpowering matchup as Phoenix has gotten the better of the free throwing in the first half.
And that one bounds off. Tomorrow night on NBC, the manhunt that spanned 2 continents, tracking a celebrity-turned-killer based on the true story. NBC movie event, The Hunt for the Unicorn Killer. Tomorrow night, 9, 8 Central, here on NBC. Wallace converts 1 of 2, and the Portland lead is a deuce. Jason Kidd now being checked by Ryder. Robinson. Cliff Robinson, trying to remove that stigma of collapsing in the playoffs, has recorded 9 points for the Suns today.
Solid game for Cliff so far. Again, coming back to Ryder. They're going to get a foul against Rex Chapman.
Chapman trying to fight his way over the top of the screen, has his 3rd foul.
Cliff Robinson using the screen, gets plenty of time, pass in rhythm, knocks down that perimeter jump shot. When Cliff gets to torch, he's one of those players that can go for 15 and a quarter. Ryder knocked away by Chapman.
Portland gets it back with 17 to shoot as Chapman with the reach in to knock the ball away.
Ryder trying to dance with the ball, showed it too soon. Good quick hand by Rex Chapman to get a piece of it. 17 on the shot clock.
Chapman went for the steal, and Ryder laid it in.
Well, you never go for the steal if you're the only man with clothes on underneath the basket. Left naked and an easy score. Ryder's got 6 and a quarter.
Excellent shooting on both ends. Gugliotta, nice ball fake, and then blocked by Sabonis. They fill the lanes for Stoudemire, but no one open.
Well, they missed a couple of guys that were open late. Now they'll have to reset coming back to Grant.
Nice backside help from Cliff Robinson, but he fouled him.
The temptation was too much for Rex Chapman. I'm either getting this ball and we're running the other way, or I'm giving up the hoop, and Ryder finishes on the other end. And then it's a big block by Sabonis. Sabonis has really been active defensively for Portland to make the save.
Sabonis with 3 blocks, and Portland has a half dozen.
And Cliff Robinson does not want to leave the ball game, but Danny Manning is going to replace him. Slow walk for Cliff. Manning who was really good in that 12 minutes in the second quarter.
So Robinson sits with 4 fouls, and Manning, who scored 10 off the bench, returns to the floor for the Suns. Grant's free throws make it a 4-point Trailblazer lead. Chapman. Rex Chapman with a quick release. He has 7.
When you're getting beat up at the other end of the floor, the way to get even is to start dealing out some punishment of your own, and Chapman gets his first 2 here. But they've got to get some scoring from him just to kind of neutralize what Ryder is throwing their way. Sabonis on the move.
Took a giant step or 2 to the hoop and laid it through as Longley could only watch. The Big Cat, an all-round game today. He has 8 points. Stoudemire now guarding Chapman.
Chapman's letting this one go.
Didn't matter who was guarding.
He was letting that one go. You just had that feeling he wanted another hoop. Ryder against Kidd.
Wallace for three. Jason Kidd all along the rebound, pushing it.
Manning wants this matchup, and Ryder's going to try to hold him outside, gets called for the foul. But
holding is the key word there.
He's pointing to the forearm, but Rex Chapman, when he comes off screens, he's already got the trigger cocked, and he's ready to pop, and he does so. And then Sabonis, big steps. You know, it's like he's moving in slow motion, but if you give him enough space, you know, he does a slow waltz, but he's been very effective.
We mentioned that gold medal for the Soviet team before switching to his native Lithuanian team after the breakup of the Soviet Union, as another Chapman miss. Sabonis playing against Danny Manning, who was on that U.S. team that could manage only the bronze medal in Seoul in 1988.
Tom, how did you get to Sabonis' gold medal?
I had to give it back to him, Steve. He was a little too big to argue with. But he did let us take a picture with it around the neck, and very cordial.
Ryder, 8 in the quarter, wanted a foul to go with it. He was posting Jason Kidd that time. Danny Ainge wants a timeout.
Mike Dunleavy was worried about the focus of his leading scorer, J.R. Ryder. Worry no longer. He's hit 4 in a row. He has 17 in the game.
And you can tell from his body language that he's in it. He thought he had waited long enough to get and one. They say no, but he's trying to bring the house with him.